Hello, I'm Jan Mulvey and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show. Liverpool are going to be facing off against Sean Dyche's Burnley side at Anfield on Wednesday night, and we're here to bring you all the build-up to that. I'm joined by Chris Pajak. Steele's over there and Jack Harte is right there. Just thought I'd mix it up. We've done this like 7 times already. We've had fantastic little content already gone up this week on the redmentv.com, answering your questions on the RMTV Question Time show. Go and check that out. But now it's time to talk Burnley. Chris, great results against Man City. Great run of form. Don't fuck it up now.
I know. Historically speaking, this is the game we just fuck it up, isn't it? You know, Burnley, with no respect whatsoever, gash. Absolute shit. Like, and you know, that's the type of team we lose against.
Yeah.
Historically, I think under Rodgers we've been better at that though.
Yeah, I mean, I think last season we were so much better, weren't we, Jack, at dispatching teams that we were meant to dispatch, but in fairness it was because Luis Suarez just used to turn up and beat them and go home with the ball. Match ball.
We used to concede a few against them all as well. Cardiff put 3 past us, didn't we?
We scored 6, didn't we?
Yeah, but you know, I think this is right. There's a real fear that comes with this. Is that there was no great hope before Man City. I hope that we get something from it, but now that we've gone and done it, we've really put things in our hands. We're up to 5th. We're well within touching distance of where we want to be this season. Coming up against Burnley, I'm more scared of this game than I was against Man City, weirdly.
It's not necessarily the the potential loss of points that worries me. It's what it would signify. You know, that it's as though we've got these great results, but actually Liverpool aren't actually as good.
It's as when people start to go, it was only 2 brilliant goals against Man City, is why we beat them, and overlook the fact that we were much the better side. You're right. That's the negative mentality that creeps in.
And I think the fact that we've got, if we had a league match at the weekend, I wouldn't be as worried about it either. But I think it's the fact we've got 12 days off after it from league football. It means it's kind of a big marker really in terms of that run of fixtures. So it's a really important one actually.
Yeah.
It's more important psychologically because of the wins, I think, than it might have been.
Well, you see, as the eternal optimist, I mean, how you feeling about that? Have you got nerves going into this game?
No.
Nah.
Not too nerves.
That'll be the crack pipe.
If you not watched us for like the last 6 months, we're dead good at the footy. The only thing is, Burnley, they went to City and got a draw, and they went to Chelsea and got a draw, albeit the Chelsea game was mad where they should have given penalties where and had the lads sent off and whatever, but they went to City and got a draw. They were unlucky at Old Trafford. They had chances to be a couple of goals ahead. I watched that game when they were wearing like a tinfoil kit. It was dead mad. I hope they don't wear that. That'll put me off.
The block radio waves.
It was horrendous. But I think they put my wear at the weekend as well. In the week, I mean. But what Chris said is right. It's the game. I remember for some reason we used to always get Portsmouth on a Wednesday. It was freezing and they beat us, or we nick a draw, or
Leicester.
No, just a shite game in a way. It's got that feel. But not with this team. I don't think it has. I don't know. I don't think anyone can come and park the bus now. I think a few weeks ago teams could park the bus on Liverpool. I think if you've done that now, you're probably going to get beat because Coutinho's going to put one in from 30 yards. Because you park your bus, I'll just hit it over it.
It's still a delicately chip it over. But that still remains the fear, though, isn't it, Chris? Is that we're scoring more goals, but we're still not free scoring. We still don't have that. Again, what Suarez brought to us last season was that he loved. It was the flat track ball. He loved playing against teams that did that because he would individually pick them apart with his brilliance. We haven't quite got enough of that yet this season. That Everton's the best example of it. The last team that really tried to do it against us caused us problems with breaking it down. You can imagine Burnley could have the ability to stifle us. It's just then a case of, do we have sufficient brilliance, as Steve suggests, to beat them?
I think we do, yeah. I think, it obviously depends on the front three. I think Sturridge will probably come back in for this game anyway. I think it's sort of nailed on, and then he can probably have another little break at Blackburn, maybe a 30-minute run out or something. But, I'd like to probably see Sterling rested and then see Coutinho and Lallana a game behind him. And if that's the case, then I think Lallana and Coutinho can break any team down in the league. you know, and that's parking the bus, not parking the bus, whatever you want to do. I think those two players are good enough to break any team down.
It's weird because you know, I've got there in the years now we have something to play for, and I think it feels like it's on. And I'd said, you know, we said this on previous shows. Well, I believe that like it's on because you know I think it amazes me how many people are not that surprised. Because, like I said, we were doing this thing with Mike Kennedy, and he wrote this great article. No team in Premier League history has ever gone from 7th on New Year's Day with that points gap and finished in the top 4. It's never happened. In order to do it, it would require us to put together a title-winning points haul for the second half of the season. So there is so much pressure on what we do. This, and I said to myself, if we beat City, I'll believe that we're well on target for it. But this kind of, I think back to last season, I think we played like. We went to play Norwich. We'd had a really good result. And then we went to Norwich, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, how can we keep up? We can beat the big teams. We're smashing Arsenal and Everton and all this. Can we go and do it against a team that's going to be a relegation battle?" This is another massive but completely different test. If we're able to find a way to break Burnley down, and if we can actually do it handsomely, then we are absolutely fucking flying. All of a sudden, there's no test we're not able to answer.
If you look at our best performances, you mentioned Spurs, City, Sunderland, Southampton. We got the first goal, and it was quite early on in all three, wasn't it? I think the Spurs goal was after 20 minutes, was it? And then obviously Coutinho scored after a couple of minutes in the Southampton game, and Henderson's goal. I think if we scored the first goal early, then I think that's great. I think it's when you start getting to an hour, and then they can see the finish line then, because to hold on for 90 is hard, but if you're breaking into chunks and you get to an hour and they're thinking, we're on here, you know what I mean? So
and we start to get a bit edgy, maybe the crowd gets a bit wary about it.
You just need someone to score a worldie. Like, that's our plan.
But it's always been the case in those games, you know. I think, Jack, how many times we played Stoke and just couldn't get that first goal, or we'd have a first goal disallowed, and as soon as it's disallowed, you're like, fuck, it's going to be one of those days.
The encouraging thing, you know, if we're in that situation where it's 0-0, you know, we were behind against Bolton and saw our way through that game. You know, so that encourages me that we've got that fight in us now to get a result late when we need it. You know,
I just like now we don't look like we need to break teams down. Even last year, I thought at times we needed to break teams down. We can score now. I was joking before, but we've actually got lads who can score from 20-30 yards, and that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
It's past that, but it is there in the locker. I mean, and now what I think is if Coutinho's got the ball 25 yards out, in times gone by, the Burnley defence might have thought, "So we're all right here." Now someone's going to have to go. So if they go, hopefully that's a Sturridge run, or he can beat you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you hold your line against Coutinho and Lallana in particular, especially Coutinho on recent form, and even Henderson around the box, I think if they watch the videos, which they will have done, the manager's going to say, you have to close them down. And I love when people try and close Coutinho down because he'll make him muggier.
Yeah.
And so that's what this recent upturn in scoring worldies has done. I imagine Sean Dyson is in his press conference is doing this in his talk, and he's going. If he gets the ball, that
was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
If he gets a good impression,
so chuffed with yourself.
If he's got the ball into the box, lads, you just need to get out to him, and hopefully that means think over.
It starts to crumble. You can't. It's hard when the bus wants to
park the bus and take the handbrake off.
Yeah, the windows. You're opening the windows. That's it. Just to slightly move towards the team and the approach. Then, Jack, we now know Jordan Ibe could be out for up to a month. How big a blow is that for you?
It limits, you know, I already feel like we've got limited options on the left-hand side. It limits what we've got on the right, and it means that perhaps if Markovic isn't available, or he's been playing a lot, or he's not playing so well, it means that we might have to change the attacking options to bring him back. You know, bring Lallana back to the right or Sterling to the right. So
it's a shame, given how we had no expectations on him. Look, he wasn't even in the Liverpool squad until a fucking month ago. You know what I mean? We had no use for him. We didn't see the need for him. But I think he's shown, as the performances that he's put in, that he's made himself such an important option that, you know, maybe it's not a massive blow. It's not like losing Sturridge again, or losing Sterling, or losing Coutinho. But as you lose the ability to rotate, if nothing else.
Yes, I mean, I was going to say it does expose a slight lack of depth. And then I was thinking to myself, but we signed 8 players for this season in the summer. And And I thought, and he's only rejoined us 2 months ago, so it's crazy to think that, but I think it's just the nature of the shape that we've got specialists in there. We've got two who can do that role, because as soon as we put Manquillo in there or Johnson, that's not going to fit like it would if it's Markovic or I. So it does limit us down to one player really if we want to play that way.
I'd be quite happy with Manquillo there. You know, I don't think the lad's done anything wrong when he's been given the opportunities.
Yeah, it's just it's not what he does, it's what he doesn't do.
Yeah, but then, you know, we've talked this week, and I fully agree with Stannis. We only tend to attack down one side anyway, so you let Moreno go.
Yeah, but the thing is that you know that's what we're going to attack. There's a difference between going, we're going to attack down Moreno.
You've got to do the Jamie Carragher then. You've got to go inside, one time, go round and fucking whip a hell ball in. Like.
I like Manquillo, but he doesn't fit into this shot.
Oh no, he does. Don't be so dismissive of him. He can do a job there. You know, if you talk about Flanagan playing centre-back in one of the shows this week, Manquillo can definitely play right wing-back. Like.
Yeah, no, he's fine, but it's like, it's the same deal as playing Hoare and Lovren as in your back three. It's not that he can't do it, it's what he doesn't bring to the side, and therefore what we lose as a team in general. And as I say, it's fine. The theory of it's fine, is we're only going to attack down one side, but there's a difference between we're just attacking down the left because we've chosen to attack down the left. At any point, we can switch to attacking down the right.
Manquillo can cross the ball, in fairness. Like, I think he can cross the ball.
He's not going to strike fear into a left back and pin a left back.
No, but Markovic hasn't been doing that.
Yeah, but Jordan Ibe has been doing that.
I think, yeah, that's true. I'd rather, to be perfectly honest, on the last game, I'd rather see Manquillo be given a job. Look what he did against Besiktas. He stepped up there and had a much better game than Markovic was having.
I think when you went to Kosh, I think that's sound. I think at home to Burnley, he used to wind me up under Benitez or whatever, and Cow to be playing right wing against Wigan at home.
Yeah.
And I think
Mascherano playing for the back.
You don't need all these lads at home against these. You can afford to put someone there. I don't. We saw Chan there, didn't we, at the end of the at the end of the Man City game? So maybe he's thinking.
I'd be far more inclined to, if Markovic that's not quite working for him. I think as we discussed previously, Lallana or Sterling goes there before we put Manquillo. Manquillo's fine, but Manquillo, as we've discussed, when we were playing a back four, we were all concerned that Moreno wasn't a left back. Manquillo is a right back, and he's a good right back. But he's not a good.
Isn't the John Flanagan mold?
Because he's not. I
really do disagree. I don't think you can just pigeonhole as a right back.
No, but we say wing back, but it's not wing back, is it? It's basically fucking.
It's a midfielder, isn't it? He can play. He can cross. But he was crossing it, that's my worry. Because he was good in the air.
Yeah. You don't want to. What you
look
what Markovic was poor against Man City, but look what he was doing on that. Look at the Sunderland game when he's bursting into the box and supporting the attack. Jordan Ibe against Spurs, was it? When and Everton, really getting forward and being that extra man. Like we've talked about this 5-and-5. Manquillo, it's just not in his. It's not his natural.
I really do think you're underrating him. Actually, I think given time, he's a kid.
Oh, he's 19.
He's played for us for a few months. I think he can really step up.
It may be, but I think given the options we've got, it would make far more sense in what we've done so far. I think one of the. I don't think there's a chance he would be a replacement for Manquillo, for Markovic in that situation. He'd be a perfect replacement for himself. But
Markovic is probably nailed on to start anyway.
He should do, and he needs to pick his performance up after City. But I think he will play, as I think you said earlier, Jack, didn't you? He'll play until Ibe's.
I'm not too sure about the Lallana right back thing. I know he done it the weekend. It's not for me though.
I liked it.
I'm not a fan of it. I think he's a little bit slow.
Yeah.
I don't think he's carried. I don't know.
He's definitely hasn't got. I don't think he hasn't got the pace to get up.
And he looked a little bit out of water, which he was, because that's what he.
Well, he did it. He went to that a few weeks ago, and there was a point where he got moved to it might have even been left wing back, and then we attacked, and then when it broke back the other way, and he kind of looked at. He went to move into his normal position, and then he went like, oh no shit, I'm doing this. It's clearly like
it's
stopgap in it, and you look at how many times. Again, Markovic has to get up and support the attack, and when it breaks down, he's got to fucking make that run. Emre Can had to do it when he was there. Lallana's definitely got the work rate for it. He'll do it. He'll do it all day long because you've asked him to do it. But you wouldn't want. And I mean, I don't know what.
I wouldn't mind Sterling
to stretch it like, but
if not Markovic, I wouldn't mind Sterling it if you've got Lallana, Coutinho, Sturridge with Sterling right full-back, that's fine for me. At home against Burnley, I think your back three should be good enough to defend against them, so I wouldn't be averse to seeing Sterling.
If we trust Lovren, which sounds amazing,
yeah, I don't
know those words. But if we trust him to come back in, can we put Henderson there and Henry Shannon?
Don't fucking move him around anymore. I'm fed up with seeing Jordan Henderson out of the fucking midfield.
But this is the thing as well. You know, Steven Gerrard's in line to come back to this game. Do you reckon either Burnley or?
Sound seriously. If he's coming back in the side, right centre back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've heard that's as random a shout as I've heard, but
makes sense. I wouldn't move.
Why
move Henderson now?
Yeah.
Why move him when Gerrard's leaving anyway? So if you're moving Henderson to accommodate Gerrard, it's just so short-sighted. It's just not. There's no point.
But is it? But as we're talking about, if it's a case of if you need to because of the personnel you've got available to you, who you're limiting the most? You know, is it like because we've thought Raheem Sterling could go and do that, but you really want Raheem Sterling playing further forward. Ultimately, it's academic because I think Markovic is just gonna do it, isn't it? But you know, I think that's where we are. Yeah, well, it's the short blanket. Yeah. It's the short blanket thing all over again, isn't it? It's what's the minimum amount of moves to not totally compromise what you're doing with your team, just to keep it ticking over. And you're right, Jordan Henderson, right wing back. I don't want to see that ever again, unless we're like down to 9 men or something, and he needs to go and do a job for the team by all means. But fuck that shit. Like, but Gerrard and Flanagan back in, regardless of what we think, it's good to have them as options available, and it's the
more players the better, isn't it? The more players you've got in them.
Well, we have 4 strikers on the bench against Man City. That's ridiculous.
It's a more balanced squad, isn't it? Kind of feel for John Flanagan really, because he was good last year when he was really good, and
John Flanagan.
And now again he's another idea. You think, but where does he play now? Because I'm not sure John Flanagan can play the wing back. I'm not sure, you know what, you say wing back, it's actually a winger.
Yeah.
It's effectively a winger, it's not wing back.
That has to defend.
It's a wing back. It's a winger who has to do a job, going backwards the other way a bit. Yeah, so it's difficult to get again to see where he kind of fits. Maybe like you mentioned, maybe as a one of the back three. I'm not sure. But like the more players you've got available to you as a manager, the better, isn't it? And
yeah.
I don't know. The thing with Steven is, and again, I love Steve Gerrard a bit. He's amazing. I just think being around now, he's probably causing a headache to the manager that the manager probably doesn't need. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need. He could do without. If Gerrard had gone in January, I don't think Brendan would have been that bothered. I mean, I don't know. I don't think.
No, I agree.
And again, it's just I just don't, because he's because of who he is and what he is, and because he's leaving, and you've got to give him game time. That's what the manager be thinking. I think he's just, I don't know. I just don't see where he fits at the moment, and I hope to God.
I was just on the bench, man. You know, like I said, we had all 4 of our recognised strikers on the bench. That's ridiculous. Steven Gerrard should have been there instead of Lambert or nobody, because it's great to have Steven Gerrard involved, and you're right. Nobody deserves to lose their place to Steven Gerrard, because that would be entirely on reputation, and that's not fair. That's not how it should be done, given how well everyone's performed of late. But having Steven Gerrard on the bench, we've talked about breaking teams down and teams parking the bus. You know, it's 0-0. You've got 20 minutes to go. Bring Steven Gerrard off the bench. It's not gonna hamper your chances of winning that game. It's only going to improve them by having him as an option to.
No, he's still on our best 18, isn't he? At the minute, you'd think if he's fit and firing. But yeah, it's just. Like, the bench the other week was a mad one. It was a couple of kids and then 4 strikers and call it all. It was like, so yeah, I think he's an option on the bench. I just feel like with Flanagan again, where do you put him? Is he on the bench? But then why is he on the bench? Because if someone gets injured, where's Flanagan going? That's the thing I feel with Flanagan.
Yeah, and it seems to be the case with all our subs. You put a sub on, and then we have to move something around to accommodate it. They're all not quite right at the moment.
The system that we're playing now doesn't really lend itself to Flanagan, who's a good player.
Well, the thing about John Flanagan is everybody's written John Flanagan off consistently forever and ever and ever. Yeah, so, like I said, the only way I can see he could possibly make a shout for himself there is at the right side of the 3 centre backs, which is a little bit ridiculous. But he's definitely got the tenacity for it. He's got the energy. He does like getting forward as well. How good he is at it is it varies massively.
He's on a half volley.
Yeah, he gets that excited when he's scoring goals. You know, I back John Flanagan's character to make the most of whatever opportunity he's given. I just don't see
where he fits.
Where he fits.
I think if you ever went back 5 like we did against Southampton, she's perfect. Throw him right back, he'll do a job there.
Yeah, look, that's it. If you're talking a backs to wall performance and you need a gritty, committed game, get Flannel in all day long. Yeah, I mean, you know, as I say, he surprised everyone last season, and I wouldn't put it past him to surprise everyone again. But equally, he's been injured for 6-7 months. He's not going to have any.
Yeah, I think expecting anything from him this season now, it's a bit hard. But we're saying this, but you know, he got forward quite a bit last year, didn't he, from left back, and he done well. I remember the Spurs game at home when we battered him. He was doing really well getting forward on that game. He was skinning people for fun. Then he was putting Soldado in the Aussie, you know, with tackles and stuff. So that's his game, isn't he? He can do it. And like I say, I would never write him off. He's the character who you think, go on, write him off. And
Just wants to be in the side. He'll do anything.
He'll prove you wrong, and he will. So
yeah,
it's great to have him back.
Just on the Burnley front, that's obviously Danny Ings. We've been heavily linked with him. Where's your feelings? Would he be a good addition to Liverpool squad or something?
Yeah, he's better. I think I'd rather have him than Lambert or Barini. I don't know, on my bench. If he's happy to come and be a bench player for Liverpool, then fine. He puts the ball in the back of the net. His movement's better than people think. I think because he's at Burnley, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He is a good player. He is a good footballer. But it's the whole big fish, small pond type scenario. We've done this before, haven't we? We signed Blackpool's best player. Shit. You know, we've been down that road before. So
playing in the league's third best team, was it? Stoke? Yeah, third best team.
He's not very good playing in fairness. He's come off the bench.
I can assure you, he's I've seen enough of that fella to tell you he's not good at it. So,
for those who haven't got the conundrum there, it's Charlie Adams.
Chaz. But so you don't know that every signing's a gamble, and it's easy to say that. But for nothing, which effectively cost a little bit of a tribunal fee, wouldn't he? Who would you rather have? Lambert, who fits our style more at the moment? Lambert, Balotelli, Barini or Ings. It's actually Danny Ings. I'm not saying he's a better player than Balotelli because he's not. I don't think he is, but I think he suits. He's the backup to Daniel Sturridge. That kind of makes more sense. So I think he's a good player.
Great. I mean, he's been linked with all kinds of clubs, hasn't he, Chris? But I mean, we're not going to venture into jinxing the territory. But ultimately, if he wants to be a Liverpool player, great opportunity for an audition. You know, come to Anfield and show what he can do.
I suppose so, yeah. A few old goals and he'll get married in the side next season.
For great teeth. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't really watch Burnley that much, to be honest. Don't know fucking exactly how good he is. Couldn't tell you about his movements. Every time I see him on Match of the Day, he's sticking the ball in the back of the net, so that's what you see.
Doesn't know movements. No, like we've had this. If it's like we're talking like £3.5 million to sign him. He's young, he's got potential, he's very, very highly rated around the league, isn't he?
Cheaper than Lambert was.
I know the same arguments could be levelled in favour of Lambert, but he stepped it up as well. You know, he scored, I think, 26 last year, and is he on 12 this season?
He's scored goals in the league. He's scored plenty of league goals, isn't he?
So that's an encouraging sign to begin with, that he's made the next level and he's doing it. Play for top half clubs, see how it goes. You know.
But like I say, if he either plays really well and hopefully we sign him, or he plays rubbish and no one cares. That's not happy either way. And we still sign him, yeah. There's enough great, wonderful character. Score predictions then, please.
My dice is better than your Rod.
Steve's gruff northerner. Go ahead, score prediction.
From Dyche, please.
4-0 to Liverpool. Good side. Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah. If you can do that if you can do this in Julian Clary's voice, please, that'd be sensational.
No, I'll be more nuts just as myself. I'll say Liverpool 6, Burnley 0. Big win.
Fucking hell, really?
6!
We've gone for $10 over here.
I actually didn't listen to your score prediction. I was so...
4-0.
Ah, right. And I was disrespectful to Burnley at the beginning of the show, and I'm saying 2-0 Liverpool. Nice professional performance from the lads.
Yeah, 3-1 to Liverpool. Danny Ings getting the all-important consolation. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you think the score's going to go down or whatever?
That wasn't a sentence. That was just words. That was the IKEA sentence.
All the words were fine. You had to just piece them together as you wish. Score predictions in the comments below. Thoughts on Danny Ings? Thoughts on right back? You know, do you think Manquillo's a decent option for right wing back, right winger, etc., etc.? All those thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out the rest of the shows this week. RMTV Question Time, where we answered your Twitter and Facebook questions in depth and detail, and a whole host of other stuff as well, which is boss. I very nearly got very dismissive there. No, it was quite good. And also loads of boss content as well on the YouTube channel, but more importantly, redmentv.com. Free for a month, go and check it out. Cheers. I'm Paul Mason for the Redmen TV outside Anfield after Liverpool smashed the Premier League champions Man City 2-1. Worldies from Jordan Henderson and Philip Coutinho sealing the fate of the citizens.